The village of Emmerdale is reeling from a devastating loss, a tragedy that has struck at the very heart of the Dingle clan and left viewers in stunned silence. The shocking and heartbreaking news of Nate Robinson's tragic death has sent ripples of grief and disbelief through the community, leaving a void that may never be filled. For weeks, a sense of unease had been simmering beneath the surface of the rolling Yorkshire hills. Nate, a character who burst onto our screens with a whirlwind of emotion and complexity, had been noticeably absent. The official story: a fresh start, a new job, a chance to rebuild his life away from the drama of the village. But as the silence from his end grew deafening, a creeping dread began to take hold. And then the unthinkable was confirmed. In scenes that will forever be etched in the memory of Emmerdale fans, the horrifying truth of Nate's fate was revealed. Not in a blaze of glory, not in a dramatic shootout as whispers had initially suggested, but in the cold, murky depths of a silent lake. The discovery of his body was a gut-wrenching moment, a cruel and brutal end for a man who, despite his flaws, had fought to find his place and earn the love of his family. The emotional epicenter of this tragedy is undoubtedly Kane Dingle, a man hardened by a life of turmoil, a man who has built walls around his heart so high they seemed impenetrable. Yet the news of his son's death has shattered those defenses, exposing a raw, gut-wrenching vulnerability we have rarely witnessed. Theirs was a relationship forged in fire, a tumultuous journey from bitter animosity to a fragile, hard-won understanding. To see that bond so cruelly severed is a pain that resonates with every viewer who has ever fought for a second chance with a loved one. The torment etched on Kane's face is a visceral reminder of the what-ifs and should-haves that will now haunt his every waking moment. The arguments that can never be unsaid, the moments of connection that now feel like precious, fleeting ghosts. His grief is a maelstrom of anger, regret, and a profound, all-consuming sorrow. How does a father bury his son, especially when their time together was cut so tragically short? And then there is Tracy Metcalfe, the woman who loved Nate, the mother of his child. Her world has been irrevocably shattered. The hope she clung to, the belief that he would one day return to their daughter, has been extinguished in the most brutal way imaginable. Her heartbreak is a palpable and poignant portrayal of a future stolen, of a family torn apart. The thought of their little girl growing up without her father is a devastating reality that is almost too painful to comprehend. The revelation of Nate's killer, the sinister John Sugden, has only deepened the wound. The knowledge that his death was not a tragic accident but a calculated act of malice has sent a fresh wave of horror through the village. The betrayal, the deceit, and the sheer cold-bloodedness of it all have left everyone questioning who they can truly trust. As the Emmerdale community grapples with this immense loss, the outpouring of emotion from fans has been a testament to the impact Nate Robinson had on the show. Social media has been flooded with messages of shock, sadness, and heartfelt tributes to a character who was so much more than just a farmhand. He was a son, a father, a partner, and a man who was constantly striving to be better. His journey was one of redemption, and it is the unfinished nature of that journey that makes his death all the more tragic. We, as viewers, have been on this emotional roller coaster with Nate from the very beginning. We've seen his anger, his vulnerability, his capacity for love, and his fierce loyalty. To have him snatched away so suddenly feels like a personal loss. It's a stark reminder that in the world of soaps, as in life, happiness can be fleeting and tragedy can strike when you least expect it. The coming weeks in Emmerdale will undoubtedly be some of the most emotionally charged we have ever seen. The aftershocks of Nate's death will continue to reverberate, testing relationships, uncovering secrets, and forcing our beloved characters to confront their deepest fears. But through the darkness, there is a glimmer of hope. The hope that in their shared grief, the Dingle family will find a way to lean on each other, to heal the fractures that have for so long divided them. For now, we mourn the loss of Nate Robinson. We mourn the stories left untold, the milestones he will never celebrate, and the future that was so cruelly stolen from him. The fields of Emmerdale will feel a little emptier without him, a poignant silence where his presence once was. Rest in peace, Nate. You will not be forgotten.